Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where the Lego Movie cleared its second hurdle in earning legitimate blockbuster status. Last weekend it opened at #1, and this weekend it was able to hold on to the top spot, despite 4 new contenders entering the box office arena. Granted, the other studios didn't throw any boss-level films in WB Animation's path, but it's still an impressive achievement. The Lego Movie dropped just 30%, while in comparison Frozen dropped more than 50% in its second weekend. However, Frozen continued to grip US audiences much the way snowstorms have literally gripped the country these past few months, whereas the Lego Movie's next big hurdle will be taking on whatever Oscar bump there might be for the Best Animated Feature winner. Frozen is still in theaters, while Ernest E. Celestine and The Wind Rises will just be debuting, and then followed by Mr. Peabody and Sherman the weekend after, and then 2 weeks after that, it's The Muppets. But audiences do seem to be falling in love with Emmett, as the Lego Movie boasted the second biggest Valentine's Day showing ever after, well, Valentine's Day, the movie. And of course, Lego is a global brand, which is coming into play nicely as it begins to open in other countries. This weekend it debuted in the UK with 13.4 million, which for the UK is huge. For instance, back to Frozen, that opened in the UK with just 7.6 million. And while we're making comparisons, it seems Kevin Hart can't compare to himself. About Last Night opened with an impressive 27 million to capture second place, yet Ride Along opened just a few weeks ago to the tune of 41.5 million. And both weekends were holiday weekends, first Martin Luther King Jr. and now President's Day. However, About Last Night has about half the budget of Ride Along, so overall Kevin Hart is still Hollywood's Valentine. That is, unless he suffers further box office erosion with Think Like a Man 2 in June. Then in third place we find Tin Man, who sadly is already starting to rust. Many of us who took a chance on this remake were pleasantly surprised, but knew we were hoping against hope for a sequel. Now our worst fears are confirmed, and even the overseas box office seems unlikely to resurrect Alex Murphy 2.0. The industry is now projecting a global total of 200 million for Robocop, which means the movie would just break even, not including what Sony has spent on advertising. And don't forget they had an extended ad campaign because the movie release date was pushed back from August 2013. Thankfully, Joel Kinnaman already has some other work in the can as well as lined up, but his career as a leading man appears DOA. So, who got their heart broken over the holiday weekend? Actually, I think Endless Love and the box office are going to remain friends, as despite debuting in 5th place, it's still one of Alex Pettyfer's strongest openings ever, as he tries to prove his leading man status. This remake also ended up in the same ballpark as the much more highly anticipated Carrie remake last year, which makes Endless Love look good in comparison. And while the critics were very unkind, the audience response has been solid, perhaps also due to low expectations. Endless Love could show off some very nice legs in the weeks to come, or at the very least be a strong performer in ancillary markets down the road. Pettyfer might pick up a few new gigs off of this, but the real winner is newcomer Gabriella Wilde, who comes across as an up-and-comer rather than an actor just trying not to drown. But as for Winter's Tale, this is going to be a hard breakup to get over. Colin Farrell has got to be wondering at this point if it is him, as this is his 3rd consecutive flop at the box office. Plus he didn't do Saving Mr. Banks any favors either. As for Akiva Goldsman, he's got another black mark on his very spotty career. Elsewhere in the box office, Monuments Men also managed to drop just 30% like the Lego Movie, but Hart got another nice headline as Ride Along dropped just 9% in its 5th weekend. And while Frozen finally found itself drifting towards the bottom of the top 10, it passed 955 million worldwide. It still hasn't caught up to Despicable Me 2, but it is now the 3rd most successful animated film of all time, behind Illumination Entertainment's sequel and Toy Story 3. As for this coming weekend, Pompeii and 3 Days to Kill are both set to underwhelm, so expect Emmett and Kevin Hart to continue their reign as box office kings. Please note, though, there will be no Movie Math next week since I'm going on vacation, but there will be other new content going up. But with no Movie Math, I'd like to point out that Pompeii and 3 Days to Kill are both clear copycat films, yet neither are expected to come anywhere close to the debut of the originals. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some Movie Math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.